Dear students, in today's class, you are going to learn how to calculate interest on drawings of partners in case of partnership form of business undertakings. You already studied that as per the Partnership Act of 1932, a partnership firm is not supposed to charge interest on drawings of partners unless and otherwise mentioned in the partnership agreement. If the partnership deed expressly states that partners are required to pay a certain rate of interest to the partnership firm, under such circumstances, we need to calculate the interest on drawings of partners. Then after that, the same amount is credited to profit and loss appropriation account and debited to their capital accounts or current accounts as the case may be. If they are following fixed capital method of accounting, in that case interest on drawings is debited to their current accounts. And if they are following fluctuating capital method of accounting, in that case the amount is debited to their capital accounts. But for the calculation of interest on drawings, we need three important things. First one is the amount withdrawn by the partners, rate of interest. Next one is period for which the interest is to be calculated. But here, date of drawings plays very important role while calculating the interest on drawings. That is why in today's class, you are going to study one particular situation. Okay, out of these three important things, very important aspect is the calculation of the period for which interest is to be calculated, because rate of interest will be given in the problem and amount withdrawn will also be given, but we have to calculate the period for which interest is to be calculated. That is why they give the information in the problem. Depending on the information, we have to calculate that period. Here there are different situations under which we have to decide the period for which interest is calculated. Assume that here in a partnership form, partners are allowed to withdraw a fixed amount of cash every month. Fixed amount of cash is withdrawn by the partners. Fixed amount of cash is withdrawn every month. If fixed amount is withdrawn by the partners every month, here again we need to understand every month in the sense whether the amount is withdrawn at the beginning of every month. First case is at the beginning of every month, at the end of every month, in the middle of every month. Okay, for better understanding, let us take one simple example so that you can easily understand how to calculate the period for which interest is to be calculated. You take three partners are there, A, B and C. As per the partnership agreement, A is allowed to withdraw rupees 3000 per month and Mr. B is allowed to withdraw rupees 2000 per month and C is also allowed to withdraw rupees 2000 per month. This is the limit fixed by the partnership firm. Here all these partners, they can withdraw every month as the limit fixed by the partnership firm. Here limit is fixed by the firm, rupees 3000, rupees 2000 and rupees 2000. But the amount can be withdrawn by the partners as per their convenience. Assume here Mr. A is withdrawing the amount at the beginning of every month. He withdraws the amount at the beginning and Mr. B is withdrawing amount at the end of every month. And the next one is Mr. C is withdrawing in the middle of every month. Assume, here I will take the example. Assume he withdraws the amount from 1st January 2022. Assume this is the accounting year. It starts from 1st January 2022 and ends on 31st December 2022. This is the period of 12 months. Accounting year is there. Here Mr. A is withdrawing amount at the beginning of every month, means 1st January 2022 he withdraws rupees 3000. Next one is 1st February 2022, again he takes rupees 3000. 1st March, again he takes rupees 3000. Like this, at the beginning of every month he is taking rupees 3000 from the partnership firm. And what Mr. B is doing? Mr. B is withdrawing this amount at the end of every month. Assume on 31st January 2022 he withdraws rupees 2000, and next one is on 28th of February, at the end of February he withdraws rupees 2000. In the similar way, on 31st March he withdraws rupees 2000. Like this, at the end of every month Mr. B is going to withdraw the amount at the end of every month. What this fellow is doing, he is withdrawing the amount at the beginning of every month. Difference is there. I hope you are understanding this one. Next one is what Mr. C is doing. He is withdrawing rupees 2000 in the middle of every month. In the middle of every month, assume 15th January 2022 is the date he withdrew his first drawing. Next one is on 15th of February, again he takes his next drawing, rupees 2000. Next one is 15th of March, again he is going to draw rupees 2000. Assume like this, in the middle of the month. It is not necessary that always it should be 15. We have to assume that on 15th January he is withdrawing the amount, and Mr. B is withdrawing on 31st January 2022, and Mr. A is withdrawing on 1st January 2022. Just you see, here three different cases are there, three different situations are there. Here on 1st January 2022 means at the beginning of every month, and 31st January 2022 means at the end of every month he is going to withdraw the amount, and Mr. C is withdrawing the amount in the middle of every month. Okay, these are the three different cases. Now, at the time of calculation of interest on drawings, what is important for us? We have to ascertain the period for which interest is to be calculated. For that, date plays very important role. Assume for the whole year, Mr. A withdrew rupees 2000 from 1st January. See, from January, February, March, April, I write all the months here, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, and December. Assume for all the months, whole year, he withdrew rupees, how much? 3000 every month. Every month he is going to, he has withdrawn rupees 3000. Assume this one. Next one is Mr. B, he withdrew rupees 2000 during the year. Rupees 2000 every month during the year. Next one is Mr. B withdrew rupees 2000 per month for the whole year. Next one is Mr. C withdrew rupees 2000 per month for the whole year. Okay, fine. Here for 12 months, assume Mr. A withdrew rupees 3000 at the beginning of every month. Rupees 3000, rupees 3000, rupees 3000, like this, rupees 3000, 3000, 3000 for all the months. Okay. Now, we need to calculate the period for which interest is to be calculated. Okay, in the month of January, he withdrew rupees 3000. On this, he has to pay some amount of interest. Assume the rate of interest fixed by the partnership firm is 5% per annum. He has to pay 5% of 3000. For how many months? That is to be calculated, including the month of January, because at the beginning of every month he has withdrawn the amount. Means from 1st January to 31st December, if we calculate, we get how many months? 12 months. For 12 months, at 5% is to be calculated on 3000. Therefore, whatever the amount we get, that is nothing but what? The interest on drawings, on his first drawings. In the similar way, on the second drawings, what happens? In the month of February, at the beginning, he has withdrawn again rupees 3000. That is why here, including the month of February, we have to count up to 31st December. We get how many months? 11 months. Here also we calculate 5% interest on 3000 for how many months? 11 months. Next one is in the month of March, again he withdrew rupees 3000. When he withdrew this one? At the beginning of March. It means including the month of March, we have to count up to 31st December. We get how many months? 10 months. 10 months here at 5% is to be calculated. Like this, it goes on in the descending order. Next one is it comes to 9 months. Next one is 8 months, 7 months, and 6 months, like this. Okay. In the month of December, since he has withdrawn the amount on 1st December, that is why only for 1 month interest is to be calculated. Only for 1 month. But here total amount withdrawn by the partner comes to how much? 3,000, 3,000, 3,000, 3,000. If we calculate, if we add, then we get how much? 36,000. Every month 3,000 means 12 into 3,000. It comes to rupees 36,000. But here you see, on each and every individual drawing amount, we calculate interest. That is why here period involved is different. Just you see, the first drawing amount of rupees 3,000 is there, but we are going to calculate interest at 5% for 12 months. Then second drawing at 5% for 11 months, this one for 10 months. Like this, individually we have to calculate the interest. Then whatever interest comes here, in all the 12 cases, we have to calculate and add up, then we get the total interest on drawings of Mr. A. Okay, this is first thing. Next one is, try to understand the concept here. If the amount is withdrawn at the end of every month, how much amount he is withdrawing? Mr. B is withdrawing rupees 2,000 every month. But every month in the sense at the end of every month. That month is not supposed to be included in calculating the period for which interest is to be calculated. Here, if Mr. B withdraws rupees 2,000 on 31st January 2022, rupees 2,000, here for how many months he has to pay interest to the partnership for? Not for 12 months. Here he has to pay interest only for 11 months because he has taken this amount from the firm on 31st January because the month of January has already gone. That is why for calculating the period for which interest is to be calculated, what we need to do here, the month of drawing is to be excluded. This month is not supposed to be included here. That is why for how many months the interest is to be calculated? Only for 11 months. If the amount is withdrawn at the beginning, we have to take 12. If the amount is withdrawn at the end, now interest is calculated on the first drawing for 11 months. Next one is second drawing in the month of February. Again he withdraws rupees 2,000, but for this interest is to be calculated for how many months? For 10 months. Next one is in the month of March. The interest is to be calculated for how many months? For 9 months. Like this, it goes up to December. Now try to understand here. In the month of December 2022, 31st December 2022, he withdrew rupees how much? 2,000. Here, this month has already gone and the year is going to complete. That is why here period for which interest is to be calculated comes to 0 here. Why? Because on 31st December amount is withdrawn. This month is not supposed to be included and the accounting year is going to end here. Because of that reason, the period for which interest is to be calculated shows 0. This is the way how interest is to be calculated. Now, here for individual drawings, we have to calculate by applying the given percentage. Assume at 5% of 2,000 for 11 months, at 5% of 2,000 for 10 months, for 9 months. Like this, we have to calculate 8 months, 7 months, 6 months, then up to December we get. But in the month of December, the what you call period comes to 0. This you have to remember. Next one is, in the next class, I will touch this one, third point. And now, very important thing is, see, when we calculate interest for each and every drawing, it takes more time, right? 12 months are there. 12 times the partner has withdrawn the amount. Therefore, for every drawings, if we calculate interest like this, then it takes more time. In order to save the time, some experts have developed one simple formula. That formula says that we have to calculate average period, and that average period is to be applied to the total amount withdrawn by the partner, and at the given rate of interest, if we calculate, we get the same result even if we calculate it separately. Whatever the result we get here, the same result we are going to get when we apply that particular formula. By doing so, we can save our time. Therefore, for saving the time, the simple method is there of calculating the interest. What is that formula? Try to understand. In the next class, I will take the problem and we will solve that one. Here, average period is calculated by applying this formula. Try to understand. Average period is equal to number of months for which interest is to be calculated. Interest is to be calculated on the first withdrawal plus number of months for which interest is to be calculated on the last withdrawal is to be divided by 2. Okay, just you go through this formula. Here what is written here? Average period is equal to number of months for which interest is to be calculated on the first withdrawal, and plus number of months for which interest is to be calculated on the last withdrawal. See, in case of Mr. A, first withdrawal was made in the month of January. Assume the last withdrawal he made in the month of December. That is why here on his first withdrawal, for how many months interest is to be calculated? 12 months. That 12 is to be taken here. 12 plus. Next one is in case of December. See, this is the last withdrawal. For how many months interest is to be calculated? Only for 1 month. Here, this is the situation where the amount is withdrawn at the beginning of every month. That is why here 12 plus 1, and this is to be divided by 2 so that we can get the average period. It comes to 13 by 2, or we can write 6.5 months we get. 6.5 months. Here what is to be done? Here 6.5 months in the sense, for the total amount withdrawn by the partner, we apply the given percentage and calculate the interest for 6.5 months or 6.5 months. That is why here, how do we write this one? 36,000 into 5%, assume rate of interest. Next one is 6.5 divided by 12. If we simplify, we are going to get the same result. Assume that here the total amount comes to rupees 1000. Here also you get the same result, rupees 1000. This is not the exact amount what I am telling. If you calculate this one by applying this formula, whatever result you are going to get, here also you are going to get the same result. Just you see here, by applying this formula, very quickly we can get the result, but here it takes lot of time. That is why in order to save the time, we have to apply what? The formula. That formula is average period is equal to number of months for which interest is to be calculated on the first withdrawal plus number of months for which interest is to be calculated on the last withdrawal. I hope you understood the concept. In the next class, I am going to explain the other part by taking the problem. Better you share this video to others as well so that they can also get the benefit of this. If you have any comments, you can send the comments also. Okay, thank you.